Vital Printing and Designing. Institutions, individuals, and companies come to Vital Printing and Designing for the best and crystal clear services in printing. Only from Vital Printing and Designing. Vital Printing offers quality printing services in car branding, t-shirt printing, printing of wedding and invitation cards, printing on cups and mugs, printing on paper bags and posters, and also offers embroidery services, printing of banners of all kinds. Among other print-related vital services, delivery services are available. Contact Vital Printing and Designing on 30-225-75152 or 30-225-75153. Vital Printing and Designing, your first printing option.
Don't get bored alone when there are existing channels that can keep you company anywhere, anytime. Vital GH Media is a mother company of all Vital GH channels. We have multiple platforms for free television. You can watch video on demand, rent or buy, or probably subscribe easily for more update. Visit our channels on Vimeo, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Apple TV, Amazon Roku TV, and many more, anywhere, everywhere, any day, anytime on your mobile phone, TV channels, Apple Store and Play Store. Don't be left out with existing movies and programs on our various channels. You can visit us on www.vitalghradio1.com.
Hello, viewers and listeners. You are live on Vital Ghana Radio and TV, and it's my privilege to have you join me in our weekly Saturday program where we discuss land issues in Ghana. And yet here for any more share so Zoom no. Memene de biom na ye menije bebre say midi program we ebremu se na mo amutie no weekly program won Nsase ho Nsem wo Ghana na megidi se esuade de amaye nyina enti we de profumeka say you are all welcome, and I have had a good week. I hope you're also having a good week and finding a way to enjoy the summer. However it may be, make the best of the opportunities that come your way. So on that note, I am Joyce Atajemfi, your land lawyer who presents this program. For the past weeks or so, we've been having a look at the Land Law Act 1036, and we looked at some of the important issues. I think one of the important issues that we said you should take notice that now there is no freehold grant in Ghana anymore. Nowhere in the country can you go to have a freehold grant. And I think that is the most important issue in the new Land Act, which is relevant to us. Today, we are going to shift the discussions a bit to the preparation of wills. And the importance of wills to us is that it is basically because of land or houses that people pay attention to wills. As they say, where there is a what? A property, there will be a what? A will. So we need property. I want to share that dream will. And the way that here for me say, na what tree and then na what tree no my tree na ye abobo kakra ewo land act abafu for na act 1036 na me can say saa law na ye laws a yakeka bobo mu ne ase a revise na yi oti wo mu pa emi say eno de edemosrum poni say no wo free krom ho wo free krom ho wontimi nya asase a yeka no freehold a kyerɛ sɛ yɛwo de akrakra a wontua rent enti baabi a wɔ Ghana bia ɔkɔ akɔgye asase wɔ hɔ kofredio ekurapem area na first na kenim sɛ obetimi agye asase freehold no ɛna adeɛ nyinaa sesei no aban atwam na msɛ mede to dwa sɛ nhyehyɛe wɔ hɔ nti a na sum nhumui wɔ hɔ nti a aban no ɛyɛ ne saa but 99 year lease wunya yɛn nyinaa yɛbɛdi mfe ahe wɔ asase so wɔ krataa ɛda hɔ a ɛde ɛwɔ ma nso betumi ayɛ dɛn ɛdi wadeɛ na ɔmo nso ɔmo etumi atena so asomdwee mu aban nso de nhyehyɛe aba obi ntumi mbɛka nkyerɛ wo sɛ asase yɛde ma wo for 50 years nti 50 years na so na sɛ be sorry free hɔ sɛ na ebinom susu no aban na hu sɛ nkurɔfoɔ pii tintim krataa saa nanso yɛamfa mmara bi anto hɔ a ɛsɛ obi a ɔde wabɛhwiri n'ani nsuo wabɛfa snow yi mu atena sɛ yɛ adwumaden no sɛbi ɔno kɔyɛ ne property ɛne ne japade a 50 years later no obi betumi atena hɔ aka akyerɛ ne sɛ krataa a ɔno me nana tintim yɛ ne sɛ 50 years nti sɛ deɛ fi asase no so nakɔ ebinom korapo de no mo hwɛ sɛ ɔbɛka sɛ dan kora na watu a si ɛbɛka sɛ dɛn fi asase no so nti aban ahwɛ mmɔden hyehyɛ ato hɔ sɛ obia wɔ ho kwan sɛ ɔyɛ dɛn utimi renew asase ɛwɔ mu o enimo o ho kwan sɛ wo renew asase landlord no anasa asase wura na odi wade no na ade no enti ase a mama ho kwan sɛ wo de court na ɛbɛyɛ a sɛ na yɛka na obrofo mu wo property rights no obetimi a protect ama wo ho ne wo ma. On that note, let me say, let me say a better discussion. Be fiasia ye discussion on preparation of wills. Na Nsase mu dia ya na wills mu hia pa. Obi abo na brabo na sebi on page jeopardy bi anto ho a. Ya na wills dia is like enhye dem fa ho. Se wo stocks so wo sika wo banko. Ya mpempi no untan dwin will ho. Nanso se owo japade a eye asase ana ennan pe dan pe na che se wadwen ba so se me komachi a na hwan na me de asase a ewo Nsase edum na ewo Tanokrom na ewo Sunyane bi so ewo Airport West na ewo Dansuma sebe na wode wa hoɔden atimi ayɛden apɛ esi hɔ no hwan na wode ma no ana hwan na bɛhwɛ w'akyi people so na nyame ayɛ wadom watimi ayɛden abie company bi wɔ hotel wɔ school atimi a very challenging situation sɛ na atimi ka obrofo mu no but sɛ wotimi esusu ho a na w'akyi ɛnyɛ basabasa me catch them say nyame adomitimi ye me adwuma wɔ lance fie bebree ma me adwuma no ma me hu sɛ na nkrɔfo wills etie a no mo de omo nim so ma ade adwenpa ani nsusue pa na ɛden eta will n'akyi nanso akyire nsɛm no ebi wɔ hɔ a yɛ ka kyerɛ wa ɛyɛ den pa na nka papa onipa kro nim sɛ bɛka ebusua bomu na nka ɔpɛ bia ma obia na ka ma why ne sɛ o me papa so ɔyɛ japa sɛ na aka kyerɛ yɛn no bible kyerɛ yɛn no japade de ma ne ma ne ne nana no mpo no nsusuo na ɔwɔ sɛ o nka bɛyɛ nhyirade ama wɔn ebi wɔ hɔ a na ɛnte saa kra ɛde ntitie ɛba ebusua ni mu nuane nuan kasa abusua panyi say omomre mu no se na sese tie dan no ba ko ye media ebi wo ho a wote a ye den papa na so me say kakra ye ba besua ende no se yetimi ehhehye ne saa ebeboa yense ne be ya ye kwa ye chi ebeye den boko. For those who are listening and those viewing, I think I said last week that we'll start a discussion on preparation of wills, or why should you prepare a will. And when we have even money or stocks in companies, shares in companies and stocks in stock holdings and things, wills do not immediately come to us. But immediately we buy property, we buy land. We have land in New York, we have a house in Delaware, we have a house in Atlanta, we have a house in Accra, Sunyani, Kufuridua. Then immediately your mind comes to it that who are you leaving this land, this house to? Who are you leaving this company that has fed you all these years to? With the hope even and the trust that that person will continue your vision. Who are you leaving that school that has served the community and also has been a source of livelihood to you? Who are you leaving it to? It can be a challenging situation. But if you don't try and do a will, as we will explain later, then you are leaving it to the state's law to decide what your property is disposed, how it is disposed. So it is important that you know what goes into preparation of wills, some of the basic things you need to know. And as for wills, the law does not require you to have a lawyer to prepare your will. But if you let a lawyer help you to prepare a will, it will be so very good, because there are so many things that the lawyer will help you to think through before you put things on paper. So on that note, I think we will start the discussion. And I would want to start with a quote from Jeremiah 34:14. And the quote says, "This is what the Lord Almighty, the God of Israel, says. Take these documents, both the sealed and unsealed copies of the deed of purchase, and put them in a jar so they will last a long time." Quote me who ye me de bebree. If say no kyerɛ sɛ will nsɛm anaasɛ property nsɛm ɛna documents a yɛwɔ wɔ nsaase ho ɛne sɛ na ɛsɛ sɛ yɛdɛn yɛ preserve no anaasɛ yɛhwɛ so yie no ɛnyɛ nnɛ na ɛfi aseɛ. Onyankopɔn ansa kasa ka kyerɛ ɔmo ɛwɔ asase a ɔde ma ɔmo sɛ ɔmo ntintim yɛ na ɛyɛ dɛn documents na ɔmo wie a ɔmo so ɔmo nsili na ɛnsili nyinaa. Deed of purchase, that is what the word of God says. Deed of purchase. It is a document. I then yato atoho. No, so omunfa clay jam, and it was a means of preserving it. Adentia, sinebea, it will last a long time. And now the purpose of God for saying that is say it will last a long time. That means enye ni atro no na eye den. Esese ewo ho keke. Na because oh daddy dia will, mommy dia will, oh wofa dia will, nti ebia medie wom. Na emo nsusu ewo will ni mu na ebe dead. That means the purpose of the will no what? In law ebeka say effectuated. Ebe dim and I say ebe dead. And to say radiasem kra ka say yenhwe na yenfa deed of purchase enhye baby ebe den. Ebe wo ho for a very long time and ebe cha na no so kire say yenso eso ye say ebe den ye de adwen beto ho ne ahwe say yesu betimi anya bisa na nsusu e wo ho ne say it is to last a long time. And I say ejapade a wuja no wo ma embe den hwete no na wo de ma no embe hwete no. And I say court nsem embehwete no na emu ebetina ho awo ho ache bebree. Obi bisa say eden kra any will. Brofum says, what is a will? Enti yebetimi akyerɛ say will obiara nim say will ye eja eden document a obi wu a oja nanso emremu no den ni will. Enti will ni ye eye emra krataa. Although me akyerɛ mu say wo hia lawyer ansa na waye will no, eye emra krataa is a legal document which a person expresses his or her wishes as to how his or her properties acquired at the time of making the will, 1, time of death, 2, and after his death should be shared or taken care of. Enti mu say mebobo niema miensa so. Say will na eye krata emra krata wutintim a wo chotro na da wakoma so say ejapade a wanya no time a wo ye will no ejapade eye wodia time a obewu so ana obekọ wachi ne ejapade eye wodia ina wokọ wachi nso a ejapade a eye wodia no se na esese eden yehwe so efa. Nti utum say 3 items na ye state wa ha no. Time a wo ye will no ebia na wadi 40. Nti ebia na won Nsaase ene wajapade wanya ebia na emienu baako wo Ghana na baako wo Delaware. Baako wo Nhia so na ebia baako so wo hemfa East Legon. Eno na eye wajapade a wonim se wanya. Na will so de say enim se nipa ni wu ansa na will na edadi. Nanso ebia no wansan ya nkwa ankosesa wo will. But emremu no will bia de edim onipa kro ni wu a. Enti ebia na wadi 50 no na wo properties a wonim se ye Nsaase ne ndan ebia ye 4. Nanso time a wo call wachi no ebia na wanya bi aka ho. Anase ebia watonton bi. Enti enye will no ne akire wo will no mu nyina na ebia ebetimi aye nkofo a wugya ma omo ne dia. If you say ebia time a obekọ wachi no na sebe watonton bi. Enti although will no kire say media Nsaase e wo airport west anase wo bubu ahye odoko media ma Kofi Mensa anase media ma Mary no ebia ahokyere ana bibinti nkolani school nti waton saa asase no ana waton saa dan. Now so ye be well na saa dan ne particulars ewu mu se na wo de ma Mary ana se wo de ma Joseph ana wo de ma den Edwin ana wo de ma Mensa. But no waton emrem no kwan wo ho saa pepepepepepepe. Nti at the time of your death ne di that's our property no enye wo de adu if you say one kasa wa ye den waton wa de emrama ho kwan sa nti ebia tintim ewo will ni mu but at the time of your death no you had disposed of your interest in that land. And then I said the third one was after your death. In pain p no nyame adom obi aye adwuma kakra kakra nti aye nim se niema ni bi wo ho a ebia abusa na motai kan wa no 401k with social security with pension Ghana so was net ebia other property niema bia wadwuma edema ewo ho provident fund sa niema ni bi wo ho a na ya kro ni se woti ase de ye mfa ama na sebi ebia ukọ wachi a ye de ma wo den wabusuafo ana omumudi wa de. Enti saa niema ni nyina se wotimi hu na nka wotintim wo will no mu se ebia me 401k me social security me providence fund saa nneɛma no nyinaa meti aseɛ deɛ na ɛnim nsɛm nanso mmom mekɔ m'akyi a yɛmfa mma asemesi nti mpɛn pii no yɛyɛ will no a na ɛnyɛ nkyerɛ sɛ na ɛwɔ will no mu nko ara na ebi a ɛsɛ sɛ wosusu ho na ɔpɛ sɛ wɔde ɛyɛ na will so ho hia bebree ɛfiri sɛ nokorɛ nie wotumi yɛ will no a ɛyɛ a na ɛma court nsɛm no ɛyi firi mu mpɛn pii nkurɔfoɔ kɔ court wɔ will ho na adeɛ nanso ɛyɛ ɛboa bebree ɛfiri sɛ ɛte sɛ a gye sɛ will no yɛaka sɛ dɛn ɛndi mu ɛwɔ court sɛ ɛnya nkansaa nko adeɛ a ɛneɛ will a paapa yɛɛyɛ maama yɛɛyɛ no ɛbɛyɛ dɛn ɛbɛdi mu ɛma yɛde ayɛ adwuma ɛnti na anka obi ni da so sɛ ɔretwɛn ma sɛ bi wakɔ w'akyi na wabɛyɛ dɛn wabɛyɛ ɔdefoɔ ɛde afa hɔ no ebia na ayɛ dɛn ama mu saa ɛfisɛ wasusu ahyehyɛ nea ɔpɛ sɛ ɛdɛn ɛhwɛ wɔ nneɛma no so na ɔyɛ dɛn ani anhwete. So we're discussing that the will is the document, legal document, where a person expresses his will as to how his will, yes, his wishes and will as to how the properties are acquired. And I made three distinct differences. That is one, at the time of making the will, the properties that are yours, at the time of death, what are yours, and after your death, what are yours, for it to be shared or to be taken care of. You decide who should be your beneficiaries. And I've just explained that at the time of making your will, you could have about 2 or 3 or 10 properties. After your death, when the will is to take effect, you may have sold 5 of your properties. And the law allows it that you have every right to sell the property that you have put in a will for somebody. It is your property until you are dead. So if you went to secure a loan with it, if you went to sell it because you wanted to see to the children's schooling or everything, that is allowed. So you may have written in the will that the property is for Kwesi Mensah, but at the time of your death, you had disposed of it. There's no problem. After your death too, we all know the properties that are accrued to you after your death. You could have your provident fund, that is very popular in Ghana. You could have your social security. You could have your premium, your 401k as you have it here. Some things that whilst you were working, provision was made for you by your employers. And it only kicks in after your death. There are some of them like that. There are some you can enjoy whilst you are alive. So you can see that there are still even some properties that can be yours even after you have passed on. And I'm saying that it is important that we consider the preparation of wills because it avoids unnecessary litigation. As for litigation, it comes. Even the very children that you thought you would give the properties to so that there would be peace, they can go to court. So as for that, you can't avoid it. But what we are saying is unnecessary litigation because you may have put what you require on paper. If you don't do that, the law makes 2 ways by which a person's assets will be disposed of or will be shared after a person passes away. That is one by means of a will, or if you don't do that, by letters of administration. But I would have to say that in the US, different states have different laws. So it is not uniform. Some of the states make provision for some things, while some states do not make provision for that. In some states, it's almost mandatory that when one spouse passes away, it goes to the next spouse. The principle of survivorship that we discussed some time ago kicks in. That means when I am not alive, the next person is my wife who takes over, or my husband who takes the property. It has got nothing to do with the fact that it is your property, so your family in Accra can say that yes, he has land or he has property in New York, and it is also going to be one of the things that is going to be disposed of or shared. No, the law in a particular state may say that once the person dies and the properties in that state it has to be given to the wife, or maybe to the children, or to the husband, or to the immediate beneficiary. So we can see that in the US, the laws are not uniform. So we need to take note of that. So why prepare a will? You prepare a will so that you'll be able to assess all your assets and liabilities. That is the difficult part of the will. As for the writing, it is not a big deal. It is the mental process that I would say you go through, the mental process that you go through. That is where the challenge is. It gives you the opportunity to what? Know that, oh yes, I have farmland at Adesu. I have a house at Ekropon. I have this money in this bank account, EcoBank, WSFS, Wells Fargo, Bank of America. Your debts you owe on your mortgage, you owe a bank, your creditors, jewelry. That it gives you the opportunity to assess what you have. A lot of times people have properties, and maybe if you are rich, they seem to really forget that yes, it has to be managed, to be put together at a point in time so that it is assessed. It also gives you the opportunity. It looks like we are getting a feedback from somebody. It also gives you the opportunity to choose your beneficiaries. Exactly who gets what and why. Like I said, it is these things that make it a challenge. As for the writing, once you've made your thought process ready, you can always do what? Sit down and write. And also you go on to ask, why am I giving this land to Kwesi Mensah? Why am I giving this land to Yam? Why am I giving this land to Bridget? Why am I giving it to my firstborn, my lastborn, my thirdborn? Why am I giving it to my nephew, my niece, my brother, my wife, my mother? Why? That is where the challenge is. It also helps you to assess what interest you have in a particular land. As we started, I said that a will is a legal document. So although you do not need a lawyer to write a will, the things that are written in the will must be relevant to the legal provisions that regulate it, I would say. So you have a house, and maybe you yourself, you benefited from that house, and all you have in that house is maybe a life interest. That means as long as you are alive, you have a right to that house. But immediately you pass on, the house is no more yours. That is a life interest that you have. Or maybe you have a 30-year lease. If you don't go and renew it, then that means what? The lease has expired. So you don't have an interest in the land again. Is the land jointly owned, or it's what? A co-tenancy. If it's jointly owned, like I explained the last time, the principle of survivorship, it goes to your husband or it goes to your wife. But if it's co-tenant, then it means that your portion of it, you can bequeath it or you can give it to the person you want to give it to. You also would want to have the opportunity to state the purpose that the property or the money in your account would be put to. So you can be able to say that, oh, also the money that I have in my Bank of America, it should go towards the schooling of all my children who go to the university. Or you speak specifically, Ajua is in the University of Maryland. This should go towards the payment of her fees. In law, will say that you have ring-fenced it. It's a wabohun buying say, and now watch cheering is say, Sasika yi I Bank of America no. Yen fan shena yen fan chia Mary school fees ewo University of Maryland and I'm in Pennsylvania. And I say bia osisika we ewo me account mo EcoBank ewo Ghana no. Bosomi bia yen yi mu sika ni bi emfa ma me maame anaye fama me baby a me ne asemesi bi ewo ye. Emi say ye timi kan sa. If say mpempi no sɛ na meka yɛ no woyɛ will na wotena ase nti ebi na ka sɛ ampa me marital wife ana me Mrs no na me wɔ maybe ansa na me worry me Mrs yi nti saa nkɔlaa no so ɔmo yɛ me ma nti me hwɛ na kwan na megya bibi de ama ɔmo nti wosi o me bɛyɛ a me ne maame wei wo yɛ no sɛ agyapadeɛ nyɛ den nti ɛboa wo bebree ma wotumi susu na ɛsɛ yɛ den yɛde ma no ade koro nti a wɔde ma onipa koro no na will no nso yɛyɛ a ɛhyɛ onipa koro a wogya w'akyi ama ne no sɛ ɔma ne tumi sɛ ɔntuatua wo ka na nkitamu a yɛbɛnya no mɛkyerɛ aseɛ sɛ anaasɛ mekyerɛ mu aseɛ sɛ will deɛ wowu ansa na ɛdɛn nhyehyɛe ɛwɔ mu no ɛda adi na wode ka nso a mmerɛ mu no ɛsɛ sɛ yɛtua wo ka nyinaa ansa na sɛ yɛnya bi na ɛka sɛ nkurɔfoɔ a wɔsɛ wode ɛdan anaa sika no ɛma ɔmo no yɛde ama ɔmo nti wontuatua waka nwie yɛ a ɛneɛ sɛbe ɛno nti na wagya will no onipa koro no bɛgyina so na ɔde wɔn ho krataa no ayɛ den ɛdeɛ etuatua saa ka no nyinaa otuatua ka no nyinaa wie a ansa na n'aka bɔ mu no ɔde ayɛ den wakyekyɛ nti ɛma ho kwan saa ebi so wɔ hɔ a ɛma wotumi sɛ wotumi kyerɛ sɛ wokɔ w'akyi a nhyehyɛe a ɔyɛ den wopɛ sɛ ɛda adi de ma wo die ebia ɔsɛ beebi a mɛtɔ bi a momfa me nto hɔ mpanyinfoɔ sɛ den asase bi ani wɔ akyi de ekyire funu nti sɛ metɔ ɛwɔ Atlanta munsie mi wɔ hɔ metɔ ɛwɔ wei New Jersey a munsie mi hɔ obi so bɛka sɛ ɛte sɛn a efie ne fie Bible mu kyerɛ Joseph kaa sɛ yɛnsesa ne dompe nsan fa kɔ asase Awurade de bɛma ɔmo nso sɛ yɛnsesa wo dompe ne nsan fa yɛ den yɛmfa nkɔ fie nti na ɛsɛ dɛ wɔma ho kwan ma wakyerɛ ɛne saa yɛbɛsua nso sɛ pray sɛ wo sɛ no wɔ will mu na will no nso mɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛde bi to court wode bi so ma nkurɔfoɔ mo bɛhwɛ w'akyi ne adeɛ no na will no wuwu ansa na yɛbie so no na deɛ na ɛbɛyɛ saa no na ebi abusuafoɔ de wakɔyɛ dɛ akɔto baabi deda ansa na wobɛhu sɛ ebi kora wo sɛ yɛmfa wo organ bi ɛmfa ma research center bi nti ɛno deɛ mɛkyerɛ sɛ akyire yɛbɛsua sɛ ɛno deɛ ɛyɛ a na womfa nka will no ho na biribi a yɛfrɛ no living will ɛno no wode ma wo doctor na wadamfo bi na ɛno no immediately yɛkɛ sɛ debi kwasi atase ɔka n'akyi a yɛmfa no nto baabi ɔtɔɔyɛ na anaasɛ yɛmfa no nkɔ ne kura anaasɛ yɛmfa no ebi wasiesie n'akyi wɔ Gethsemane Cemetery ɛwɔ Ghana East Lagos nti hɔ ne yɛmfa no na woanyɛ ne saa adeɛ no kyɛ sɛ wode hyɛ will no mu ebi ebebie will no mu na yɛde wakɔto yɛapɛ wo brɛ deda na the most important thing nso sɛ ɛma wo peace of mind nti edu baby ma wotum sɛ na nyame maa me ahoɔden ne nyansa etimi de yɛɛyɛ na menya no makyekyɛ nti masom adwome sɛ sesei deɛ menni hɔ a asase yi anaa ɛdan yi na onipa koro a mepɛ sɛ ɛkɔ ne hɔ no ɔno na ɛbɛyɛ den ɛbɛkɔ ne hɔ enti yɛbɛhwɛ mu mmara kwan mu no ɛdɛn na Ghana mmara mu no I will concentrate on Ghana law more but mekyerɛ aseɛ sɛ aburokyire ha no you can quickly look at three distinct after death way of looking at what wills. One, will nankasa a yɛdi ho nkɔmmɔ na mo wɔ bibi so ɛfrɛ no living will ɛne deɛ wote ase no na wokyerɛkyerɛ na wopɛ sɛ yɛyɛ na mostly no ebi wɔ hɔ a woyare anaasɛ wonyi du akyire wadi 90 wadi bɛsɛ 80 a na wahyehyɛ sɛ sɛ sɛbi mintimi nkasa mintimi nkɔ bank mintimi nante biom a mepɛ sɛ asemesi na ɛdɛn ɔhwɛ me anaasɛ mepɛ sɛ wei na ɔsensan me document mami me power of attorney nie onye we ni we emfa mami na ho nso living will no mu na wo trust say be me ka mechi a me pese de me call Ghana na eno no mostly no yenfa into court eno no the show draw and now the ma wadanfo and now the ma doctor bi a wo trust no and immediately we are here you are in coma and I say wuntimi nante and I wuntimi nye adwuma bi no wuntimi nye ho hwe no o so we trust say so wuntimi nye no ho hwe a yemfa nursing home we yemfa no to nursing home we nti omama ho kwan ma ye no living well and it's even becoming popular in Ghana too and in your friend say no dey what ase no niam opese dead no wo chro ma itimi e dey yema na thirdly so omo trust no so ye na wo ye na wo di ehye obi din mu na so obi na ehwe so enti ebia wo say mato asase me de ama me ba ondi 18 years ebi o kra po a wadi kra wo say asase de me pese de ma Catholic school enti na wo de ahye nkofo bi nsa emo ye den omo no behwe so ama enti that is the broad I would say niema yetintim wo krata so sesi nipa de hwe ne ho se be se ontimi nante oyare odokoko mamu ne ho tochime bi a na sese de na wo nso se na enim no na se be wokọ wachi a edadi no anase hwe wachi no ne se be nti our discussion will really look more at the Ghana's Wills Act. Now, I check akra. It's not been revised. The will is 1971 Act 360. Sani ahyehyɛ was act ni mu eno na mepa se mebobo so anase mostly there isn't too much difference between it what is also done in the US here. The basic principles are the same. A few differences here. Say bi or Ghana, you better to say faculty courts, no, Abuchia, the Umuhia, so the court. But I've even realized, say, some counties, some states even require, so the county a woman, or the Bekakoto, and there isn't too much difference in it. And in some jurisdictions, too, you don't need a witness. If you are waiting team or character, especially for the living wills, you don't need a witness to be able to see that it's a valid document that should be executed. And what I'm saying is mostly from the Wills Act of 1971, Act 360. Now, you see, obi obetimi aye will no, obi a wedi 18 years above 18 years or above. Na dream mo edaho. Sound mind, at the time of making the will. At the time of making the will, now I dream daho. And you said, now I dream daho cry. The position in law is that bra I dream daho, and I yes, I will. You be in a share, and I so be in a keka near my share once with him now the year will. And then also the need of the sound mind is important because you find when Bremu say, now what now say the consequences of it. So what the assasima say any being semubio and na ain't me ye be dear. And be a big crying say be waka training say, so now pet sanima with the masasi there war I had me be man. Ebian need a sosa. But ebia wo ya will no na wo decide say wo de ma wo ba ka etwe ana panyin no na se panyin nim so do ne panyin ten de papa ka be je ne will a ono ebia nema no be ye papa no ana se be mu ye dru no de be ma no but you decide who it goes to. And the law is that you know that you have an understanding of the legal consequences of what you are doing. And thirdly is that it should be voluntary. You obi na shell or not be under enti nka time aye na ya dream da ho na yesese eden ye will no na nye time e bia wo hospital obi kwa betimi akọ no akase time na wo hospital na wa dream da ho enti sa time na ye will no dia e bia endim otimi ma evidence I bi wo kwa court kwa etimi eden etimi eden atwi sign ena eno ye capacity ye can governments or preparation of wills, the things that ought to be in the written will, the things, and I am taking these elements from the Wills Act 1971 Act 360. Like I'm saying, the discussion is basically on Ghanaian wills, but I'm also saying that there isn't too much difference in the preparation of wills between what is done here in the US and what is done in Ghana. There's maybe a few slight differences, and even in the US here, it depends from state to state what it is. So you may have to be cognizant about what it is that the state requires to be done. So we have just discussed about capacity, that in Ghana the person should be 18 years and above, and it is so in the same country, in this country too. The person should be of sound mind at the time of making the will. So even after the making of the will, and you become what? Mentally derailed, you have mental problems, dementia, and all those things. The position is that at the time of the making of the will, you were capable of understanding the legal consequences of your actions. That means if you said a land should be given to A, that land is not available for B to benefit from it. Or if you said that why the land goes to your wife, that means your family members no rights come and question it. If you say that your property too that is in your hometown should be given to your brothers, your sisters, or your nephews, nieces, then your immediate family, your children, your wife, and your children cannot also go and question why you have given that property to them. And also that it should be voluntary, that not under duress. Somebody didn't coerce you and say that they say the daddy is old and he hasn't done a will, you are going to talk to him, you're going to coerce him, that if he doesn't do A, you are also not going to do B for him. It shouldn't be done under duress. And one of the very, very, very important elements in the preparation of will is an executor. Very important. Executor is the person or the persons that you appoint to take care, administer, as we say in law, or take care of your estate or your wishes. And it is so important. That is why I say that it is the thinking process that goes in the preparation of the will. That is the change. So immediately it is, who do you appoint as your executor? The person, an executor, stands in your place. He takes your place. Executor ni jina wa name and edi di juma edema. Enti se no na che se o ma ne tumi se wo ni ho no ono na wo ma ne tumi se onko yisika no ewo banko emfa ma wo ono na onjina no onye krata mi emfa nhye wo ba ne edin mu ono na ontonton won Nsaase no na nye de yemfa ntwetua waka ana onhwe na asase na wo de ma kwasi mensa ana ya no yemfa ma wo enti ne no eyo obi a ese den one ne wo ebia obuo bi ana one ne wo nkitahudi bi ana se obi ogi ni di wonim se na opese oye no obeye na nokure nie executor adwuma na enye adwuma ketwa o enti wo de hye obi nsa ese wo hu se onya kompakọ benya ho do if se bi wo ho na court nsem ba ono na ese se ogina no court edema enti ya na adwuma kese pa edema executor no enti wanye obi a owodo owotema anas na wo se onye no obetimi aya ebi wo ho na why wo no so eda ho no obedi rule n'echi anase probate no se na yeka no uwie uwu a obekọ court akọju probate no na weja mo wa na ebeka na rule mo se one administer property no na no Ghana Mrachre said the person should be 21 years and above. 21 years and above. But in America, 18 years. I think that is the cardinal difference between the preparation of wills in Ghana and in America. Ghana, person should be above 20, should be 21 years and above. But in the US, the person can be 18 years of legal age, and the person can be able to be your executor. Na eno no na ebeye say den we provide unipa kro no eden ni address ewo will ni mu se ebeye a ebi a nkofo ebekọ court immediately ekọ akọje will na ebi no mu ni nipa kro no omu ni bebi owo enti wa ma particulars bi a ebi owo a na omo ntini ade enhu nipa ana so nipa kro na anti wuwo ni hu na ba be dey di say oh ampa Mr. Tapon obabe catch me say man executor enti me an executor enti me di munim akọ court me akọ dey akọhwe me akan will na ne wo nya na hia pa ni say na obey executor no ontimi nye witness emfa ma emratre say esese enya witness to the will either one person and nipa mienu ombetintim krata na say omo wo ho ansa it should be two or more persons nipa mienu na say dia danse say ampa na ye wo ho ni ehun say Mr. Sapon or sign documents no will you your hobby until they can be there and they can be called as witness to be witnesses in courts say ampa namosimu wo ho enti signature ye wa hai ampa Mr. Sapon signature na and that is what the law requires. And I say so say eduma wom say na me kind eduma wom enti say wo say na say dey nkofo kwa obeyi o masi ho so o betimi aden as an executor too can be somebody with the property no man so oba ebetimi ayo executor but an executor cannot be a witness. That is the key thing. So when you're santi asiena very important. An executor cannot be a witness, but an executor can be a beneficiary. I hope you get the difference. An executor cannot be a witness, but a beneficiary can be an executor can be a beneficiary. Now person or no your executor. Yes, he can be your executor. Or no so timie den obi all benefited from property. And I have seen some and I've worked on some onipa crony executor, but the property no so they man. He acted in both ways, both as the executor and then as the beneficiary estates. And as a say we then would show or sign would do on sign so very important because it me man the ekoko to class no sign here and I say e bia wo sign na start time no wa ho din ni ho a obetimi atro no se na nka first o signatures che no mama ho kwan se obeden obetintim enti e bia wa ko school but e bia bebia ogina bia wo say no ontimi anye den en sign se na obi anim se o sign no otimi de wo mark eto ho na no ye na say wi a emrama ho kwan say ye be bibi wa asie say betro say mark yi ye wo marka na ye wo mark if you say that time no na ye de wontimi enye den na you did not have the capacity to sign the document na mra so kire say wo ye will na na me say ohua ne say ehun ne say nkofo bi wo kwa na ye den wo kuna na wo yiri ana say wo ma it is taken that they are your responsibility. And there is the difference between a responsibility and obligation. You may have an obligation towards your niece, your nephew, or something like that, but you have a responsibility towards your wife and your husband and your children, especially when the children are below 18 years. That is a responsibility. So you must make provision for your dependents. That is what the law says. And then the law also makes provision for what? Revocation. Obey me, I say, William, me and I'm sure my team. If I need you, maybe. And now, Colano, send an amim so many abadai, no, Omunia badai, me and me, my dear, me and me, Bray, or Canada, I won't. You can revoke your will, you can alter your will. And then where you keep the documents. And because say Ghana, the Emma Esha will say, it's what they took courts. Baby assassin back could be baby assassin back could be or Abiana was assassin one crime. Go for Idia. If you are as I the two baby back or for Idia, or better go for Idia court, or the Bisobeto in crime court, Sunyani court. A biso was assassin so a dime America ha. It's a way they file a court. You have to put 1, 2 here. It can be what? It can be a point of access, and then the rules of that land will kick in. I think we have Mami Canada on the line, and she would want to ask a question. So, Mami Canada, I think you can unmute and ask your question. You say you have a question about a living will. So
Yeah.
you can unmute and ask your question.
Okay. Me pacho me ba late. Now what happened? They say na me ye dwuma kakra nti no and I'm ba late. Me question na me person me bisa no I will ho asem me fear wo akra no me person me ye will eto so na me ntiase no ma nyane yi se me person me brother and it take you over me ni ho a now I don't know how to go about and what are some of the things that I say me provide na me de command na lawyer no so na me de be command no ono so a role be play ni join I'm not sure. I don't know what needs to be done, so if you can help me here that would be great.
Mamika, don't worry. This is going to be. I'll try and take the issues one after the other. And see,
Sure.
next week you crime say and I'll start the whole thing all over again. You can
Okay.
tell your friends and other people because I think it's an important
Yeah.
topic that we need to have a lot more less people listening and viewing in. Don't
Okay.
worry, we'll go
Yo.
about the provisions all over again.
Okay.
And so the question is, brother, or property, Ghana. Na wo nsusue ne sɛ wopɛ sɛ wo brother na ɛdɛn ɛhwɛ so anaasɛ wopɛ sɛ wode ma wo brother.
Me pese or so just in case. Say
Okay.
say me ye na me fan say as I say me din ba mu say me ni ho a ono na be take you over na I don't know.
Okay, I'm just saying na me discuss it first. Yeah, na
Okay.
nsusue ne na ehia.
Okay.
I think you said a living will. Ebia wotia si wosi mini Ghana. It's me person me brother na ehwe ɛdan yi so. Utimi document
Okay.
to that effect. We'll call it a living will. Now what trust
Okay.
my brother yi na ehwe de ono no collect rent no.
Okay.
Ibi sign wo property no a ono no onye de.
Okay.
Almost close to a power of attorney or something like that. But living will no ma susu is a share near my person with braconi na ono no share property tax na de ono no onye de
Okay.
ontuatua. And no
Okay.
for property no emma brother. But
All
you are
right.
just giving him the authority and the power or permission say wona wama ne tumi sɛ ɔnyɛ dɛn ɔnhwɛ asase ne so ana ɛdan ne so mfa ma wo enti ɔkyena bi obi bisa a ɔno kurakura krataa a ɔtumi de kyerɛ sɛ oh maame Canada na ɔsɛ dɛ ɔma me tumi a mede yɛ na mede yɛ no ɛnyɛ me na ɛnyɛ me pɛ mu na masɔre na meyɛ na meyɛ dɛn mede ɛyɛ no enti that
Okay.
should be two different there are two different things sɛbe even after this living will no, you can still have the will that takes over when you pass on. And no,
Okay.
no, what say, oh, was that what done here, what Ghana no? Yen farmer woba, yen farmer unia way, yen farmer
Okay.
wolf way, aha.
Okay.
And so I hope you get the difference. Now, ni yen and cheddar nya dia yeti, sena mekano, and one obe state, and then you write. I will bring all those things up in our desk discussions. In Tubema
Okay.
said, this is my living will.
Okay.
Tubema Abemusa said, this is my living will.
Sure.
So I say, aha.
Yeah.
And this is what I want done. My house in cantonments. My brother, so and so is the one who what supervise the building of it, will collect rents, is the sole responsibility of my brother to see to the maintenance of the house. I
Okay.
give this undertake. I solemnly swear to this. Now one will be our witness at the amount.
Okay. Okay.
And only a living will. And only I say documents. Why you can even give a copy to that person. Now they do cry. Will be bizarre. But a lot of times in living wills, it is mostly about health issues. I say, aha, sana yenim no no ha nte sɛ yɛ kurom a ebi anka wo yare a wobɛnya wo nua bi aba abɛhwɛ wo ana ɛbɛpɛ obusuani bi sɛ ɔba abɛboa hwɛ wo no aha deɛ ebi wɔ hɔ a na nte saa nti living will no mu na wokyerɛ sɛ o eduru baabi a mentumi nante meyare anaa m'adwene da hɔ no a mepɛ sɛ mekɔ wei old people's home way. Me
Right.
say hospital way na mo de me call. And I
Okay.
say doctor way na enhwe me. Sika
Okay.
way na mo fa ma no ana mo yi sika wo sa account mu na
Okay.
infantry asa aka no. Na asemesi na me ma ne ho tumi say onye sa nyema ni na bra ni ahoden ana madwen mu enda ho a nka metimi aya ama me ho.
Got it.
So what I say.
Yeah.
That is the cardinal difference. That is a living will. It's a wishes whilst alive, and that's normal. And it is because you have what um, um, challenges. Won't mean call bank biom. Won't mean call ATM ni biom. Into wo ma obi ho kwan se onye sa nneema na nye fe den emfa mawo. And as obi susu nneema bi eden amawo. Aha, ebi so ho ankrofo kiro say meka baby a I want to be cremated. Meka baby a monsan fa me call Ghana. And no mo living will no. They be o
Okay.
ba ja on the drawer mu and the man down for be and the man is soft will be because no say na meka no dey share will ni mu a will the obi enim say wo ka baby ewie no ebi o ye we ye ewie ebi kra amane mu no 1 year and son e dey yetimi biebie wo naka so any sa na man. That is when people normally go to the court to have the will read. Into
Okay.
1 year, they said that yes, you did that. Into what design Nanka was oh, baby, metobiano, Canada, na mewa, Monsieur mo Canada. No, a bushel for who, sa will, no, internet, yes, you will. Into normally, no, the additional living will, no. Sanya money be the additional living will. And then they said, be obedient, say, oh, madam for pa, Auntie Gloria. Into oh, Auntie Gloria, say, Sebi, uni hope you, no. No, I then, waba. Say oh mema papa any akosua mo papa o ma make us say oto de chia monye de cremate no.
Okay.
This is evidence of what your father or your mother said. So
Okay.
it's your wishes whilst alive no affected, but what is show to send a name or will and kasamuna send a mekan obeko wachi and son ya kan ehuna
okay.
will
All right.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we've just been having it. We are just starting it, and I think next week we will try and do a bit more publicity. We're not able to do a bit of the publicity much, so that we can have a lot more people listening in. And I'm going to start the whole thing all over again. Now, take my time to take it one after the other, so that we will have a good understanding about what goes into the will while we do it, and then. The important things, like I said, it is when you have land, a property, where there's a property, there's a will. If there is no property, what's the point in making a will? What you should do so that your property do not fail, your will do not fail. In Remon, you'll be say, oh, the will have failed because metrasi. If you are not, also more than war asofa, more than war, me wa omokoko fu ewo chira. How does anybody know that cocoa farm? But the law, the important component in law is specificity. But all it means is to be specific. Internet, as much details as possible. I'll bring all those things up next week.
Okay.
Then continue. And it will take it one after the other, and then tell your friends so that they can come up with their questions and all those.
Yeah.
It can
be send the link in Akoma me microphobia next week. I'll send the link.
Yes, we'll do that. We'll do that early so that it can go on, because sometimes it can be very challenging. I myself have witnessed Obi will 100 years later. Well, no about some courts.
Wow.
I tell you,
so many years.
Years later, so many years. A little bit, nothing I had discussion. What was in it to say? Na assassin a prominent area be wa cry. Then so the assassin man ni number set 3. Me fancy ni number set 3. Na ba kudim into Sudan wa assassin so. Into ni pakro de ne mane benyi beto ye no. No munim say your papa dying. No munim say your aunt dying assassin. No more papa si dying ne so.
Okay.
Into omo de omo nim say no papa dying no omo so me den. Papa ni ye well was omo ye den omo so omo je say omo property na a train obi ko o ma me na nkasa well no hu se da bi wan fa asase na masa asemesi no nko a o de manipa miensa no church aseɛ sɛ wei ka baabi a na wei mfa anaasɛ mfa ma ne mma nti na ayɛ sɛ nkurɔfoɔ a ɔmo de no mu nim sɛ na ɔmo papa ɛnyɛ ɔmo papa dea no now they are in court sɛ ɔmo ayɛ will over a property a ɛnyɛ ɔmo papa dea is in court all over again because it is like asase ne kɔdii nipa mmiɛnsa no ɛkɔdii nipa baako ɛma hɔ
nkyɛn
nti afei baako a na ɔka mmiɛnsa no ho n'ani obenya nte ase hu will no si daabi asase kura san yɛ amfa amma papa yi nko a yɛde ma yɛ mmiɛnsa baako de ɔka baabi a wanwo mma nti ɔde na ɛsɛ n'ase ahye na emu ɔmo a no papa no ɔno te ase no efe nipa ɛka sɛ daabi asase ɛne dan wei no asase no wusi dan wɔ abusua asase so ɛyɛ abusua deɛ nti saa dan yi a ɔmo ka sɛ ɛyɛ mo papa deɛ no ɛnyɛ mo papa deɛ we'll discuss nti I think say time no aso nti I want to thank every one of you for joining. Thank you Mami Canada for being part of the discussion and those who were able to tune. Thank you also to Openyi for producing this program for us. Like I said, we are going to start over again next week. We'll send out that we'll be able to have a much wider audience because I know preparation of wills or the issue of wills is a very important subject. People will benefit from the information that God willing we will be sharing. So until we're able to meet again, if there is no other question at the moment, I think I'll hand over to Openyi. And God willing, next week, definitely we're going to be here again, I believe, with a much wider audience, and I'm going to start the whole thing all over again. Let your friends tune in, let your family tune in so that we can all have some knowledge about this important subject about preparation of wills. Enjoy the summer for the rest of the weekend and the coming weeks. And let's all keep hope alive. God is always alive.
You, lawyer, Eddie, a better was it. And church more the church. Once so an 80 yen, Owusu, oh, if me here, be the chat be by a friend or Owusu Maxwell, who didn't know it was in the attending team in me. Yet there was a so send the text message and also Bomodiana, chair one down for no one down from no so yeah, womb in tea. Most of more soon, a damun as was it. Emom or China so no, there will program be a person munina so besa baby. Any saying number one, any say. Is it good to say you bet your presidents Yirenum Sika? That's number one. Number two, government no air koto 275 SUVs at the ama MPs. Now on the akofa gota ne yi sa year loro kwanya yenka sukutano. And yes schools so asay. It is a good idea, say, you be using that kind of money. Na akoto to cars a big Ghana. Wamrekwa 2020, no, there are some SUVs, vans, cars, ACC, and no ubia nyusu. Ediena, Yendi, ye talk cars in Beguha, ye buha, ye nyusu. Maha no motor cars beguha, and also ACC ho. It is dien, ye, Timomo Modian, some of joining, and ubia fa, enka, ye pese ubia beka. Your friend is saying, yeah, nothing. If you or Chinano, Mother Moon joining in na yen discusses our topics. Here, go any man I buy a cheap. It a better moon in Nsase na or China so yes, and to us. And I am Mefros to see her.
All right.
The okay.
Cash on the emo,
Vital Printing and Designing. Institutions, individuals, and companies come to Vital Printing and Designing for the best and crystal clear services in printing. Only from Vital Printing and Designing. Vital Printing offers quality printing services in car branding, t-shirt printing, printing of wedding and invitation cards, printing on cups and mugs, printing on paper bags and posters, and also offers embroidery services, printing of banners of all kinds. Among other print-related Vital services, delivery services are available. Contact Vital Printing and Designing on 30-225-75152 or 30-225-75153. Vital Printing and Designing, your first printing option.
Cash on the emo me neke, yeah. Chidi fit to do me like wabe, wabe. Yeah. Same time se pinching lime and more.
Don't get bored alone when there are existing channels that can keep you company anywhere, anytime. Vital GH Media is a mother company of all Vital GH channels. We have multiple platforms for free television. You can watch video on demand, rent or buy, or probably subscribe easily for more updating. Visit our channels on Vimeo, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, Apple TV, Amazon Roku TV, and many more, anywhere, everywhere, any day, anytime on your mobile phone, TV channels, Apple Store and Play Store. Don't be left out with existing movies and programs on our various channels. You can visit us on www.vitalghradio1.com.